Thank you, Mr. Rourke. All right, we'll call the town council meeting to order. Please rise for the prayer and the pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, we submit ourselves to you as your servants and the servants of the people of Hampstead who've placed their trust in us. Please allow every word that is spoken and every action taken to be in the best interest of Hampstead, and for everyone gathered here tonight to be a stabilizing influence in these unsettled times. The Lord bless this meeting and our town. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jim Rourke is sitting in for Tammy Ledley, who's on vacation. So, Jim, roll call.
Mayor Nevin.
Here.
Councilwoman Barrett.
Here.
Councilwoman Painter.
Here.
Councilman Thomas.
Here.
Councilman Unglesbee.
Here.
And Councilman Zolman.
Here.
So before we get going on the meetings minutes and everything else we're going to approve tonight, just we're rescheduled from last week on Tuesday, which was everything was without power at this point last week with the storm that rolled through. We haven't seen a storm like that since the ratio about 10 years ago, if I had to guess. And for a while there was nobody in town that had power. And then I think most people, with one exception of one neighborhood, because of Shiloh Road looking like a pile of matchsticks and all the power lines that were down there over there at Westwood Park 2 was the only exception. But everybody within town had power back within 24 hours. My thanks to Public Works for what they were doing that night, to the Hampstead Police Department for being out there and directing traffic around a bunch of downed trees and cones and everything else, the town office staff for getting on the phone and being slightly maybe a nuisance to BG&E to making sure our power got back on quickly. I mean, at one point I looked, and the next morning we had 2,200 people without power on the north side of town, and I looked at the Tri-County area that was impacted, and that was by far the biggest number of people impacted because of that tree that was laying across the wires across from Greenmount. So BG&E did a great job getting it back. The tree services and some of the folks we use were out there with chainsaws. Verizon, Comcast, they were all there. And then it was just neat to see people helping people again, and what makes Hampstead such a great place to live. People just picking up a chainsaw, picking up a rake, making sure their neighbors were okay. And I don't know, thank God, but with all that happened, not one single person got hurt throughout that whole thing, and very few houses got damaged on top of that. A lot of trees dropped 4 feet from houses, 3 feet from houses, inches from houses. Maybe they took out a rain spout or were resting against a chimney, but thank God nobody got hurt. So here we are a week later than usual, and we had our meeting in June a week earlier than normal, so it's been a while since you've seen us. So we'll start with the minute approvals. We have the public hearing on June 6th or June 7th, and the council minutes on June 7th as well.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. All right, Jim.
Well, these are actually it's the town manager's report from a week ago with a couple additions at the very end. Tammy came up with these before she went on vacation. So number one is the Main Street. Maryland Board of Public Works approved the transfer of Maryland 30 business from the state of Maryland to the town of Hampstead during their June 22nd meeting. A contractor for snow removal has been secured for Main Street, but other processes and forms need to be established or improved by the town. BG&E notified us that gas and electric utilities in the United States are seeing supply chain delays and material shortages coming from the long-term impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. BG&E is also experiencing these challenges. As a result, there are longer lead times for equipment required for new projects. Indications that these challenges, at least for some materials, would last beyond the end of 2023. And on a local front, these could potentially delay some of the town's development projects that we have in the pipeline.
Copper pipe being one of them.
Yes. Copper pipe, steel, we're having issues with. Commercial and residential projects continue to move forward. We're currently working on several different site plans and business prospects. Hans of Hampstead introduced their concept plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission last month. They also submitted the plan to the county for review. The initial building is slated to be 72,000 square feet, with a phase 2 addition in the future to be 27,000 square feet. The town finalized a public works agreement with Ridge Engineering for their expansion, their new building, and we have received their letter of credit. Bridge has also completed the legal process with the county, and they hope to break ground sometime in the next month. The fire department has broken ground, started their grading process, and they also have begun stage 1 of their project, which is grading the property and the construction of their temporary fire station, which will be located in the southeast corner of their property where the bandstand used to be. They hope to have this stage completed by late spring 2023. Last week, the mayor and some town staff attended a meeting at the fire department. We walked the property as they discussed their project. North Carroll Business Park, that's what you're seeing behind the car wash. They've begun the process of grading their site. IDA, who is the Industrial Development Authority of Carroll County, they're preparing the land for sale.
So yeah, that everywhere I go, that gets a question because everybody sees the earth movers and the pipe that's sitting there ready to go.
That is one of the more popular phone calls we're getting these days in town hall. What's going on behind the car wash?
Yeah, but it's bridge and then that, and it's a lot of stormwater management that's got to go on.
And sooner or later, you're going to have a third parcel up there that's going to start the grading process, which is Stansbury Creel, which is where Hans will go. As far as the finance department, the new fiscal year has been set up in the accounting system, and we are closing out fiscal year 2022. Also, work continues in the completion of the fiscal year 2022 financial statements, which will take several months. The financial statements must be completed by October the 31st. We continue to work through some leave category issues with Paylocity. Once those issues are resolved, we will begin implementing time and labor efforts where individual employees will have access to the system and will enter their timesheets directly into the Paylocity system rather than completing paper turn timesheets. Human Resources, the town of Hampstead received a corporate dividend check from our workers' compensation insurance carrier, Chesapeake Employers Insurance. The town received these monies from the calendar year 2021 as part of our commitment to workplace safety and accident prevention. This is the second dividend check the town has received from insurance carriers this year. The town staff, Public Works, and Police Department are all doing their part to stay healthy and work safely. We are truly grateful for their staff and their commitment to the town of Hampstead. As far as the town welcome signs, Strickler Signs hopes to install both of the signs by the end of July. The old signs and the posts, which only the posts were left on the north end, have been removed. Signs locations will be slightly altered from where the old signs were to avoid any underground utilities. The town will also be receiving a check in the amount of $11,500 from Cincinnati Insurance Company to assist in the replacement of the north welcome sign that was damaged during a windstorm. I think it was in May. It was not this latest storm. The Hampstead Merchants Association will be holding their annual cornhole tournament on Saturday, July 30th at 5 p.m. outside Greenmount Bowl. All profits this year will go to the Hampstead Lions Club to help fund Hampstead Day. After that, their next event will be Vino at the Vineyard on September 15th at Galloping Goose Winery. Both of these events are normally very well attended and they're very fun affairs, and we're hoping that we can make them successful and have a good turnout. The Waterline project, there's further delay in the shipping of materials for the asbestos pipe removal and replacement project. The contractors moved the anticipated start date to August. Maryland Department of the Environment, town staff and our consultant met with MDE to discuss solutions and possible funding for PFAS removal from our water system. It was a very productive and helpful meeting. Two new items, these are the ones. North Carroll Panther Performance Center property. Tammy and I met with some of the staff over at the old high school last week. We were informed by the owner of the property, Blue Ocean. We were informed that the owner of the property, which was Blue Ocean, has partnered with Coppermine to manage and run the facility. The property is now known as the Coppermine Pantherplex. Coppermine and Blue Ocean plan to follow through with the new turf field inside the stadium, refurbish the baseball and softball fields, add beach volleyball courts, and a small soccer and lacrosse park. They're also planning renovations to the auditoriums and gymnasiums, and they aim to continue to work with the local rec councils and area sports teams to accommodate their needs. So, and then the mayor touched on it, just the storm last Tuesday. I just want to say thank you again to the Public Works Department and the Police Department for their incredible response to the unexpected storm. I just want to let you know many town residents have reached out with kind words and thanks for the great job you guys did. So it was pretty amazing what you guys could accomplish. And get roads back up and open in a very, very short time, and great job. Thank you, guys.
Who's the contractor for snow removal? We're only calling them in, though, when we need them, right? All right. So, oversight responsibilities. Diane?
Okay. Several new vendors have joined the Hampstead Farmers Market family since the season started. Smitty's Kettle Corn prepares their products on site. In addition to their regular kettle corn, they have also served a caramel corn and cheddar flavored available for sale. English Rose Cottage is another new vendor, and they sell laser engraved and laser cut items such as home decor, cutting boards, and ornaments. My Girl and Me sells urban spice blends, extracts, tea, upcycled glass art, and woodworking. So they've got a pretty good variety there, and they've signed up for the second Saturday of each month. Jamaica's LLC will be joining the market this Saturday, I read this last week, July 16th, sorry. They will be selling baked goods with a Jamaican flair, such as cassava bread and several flavors of Totos, which are Caribbean coconut cakes. They signed up for the remainder of July, the first Saturday in August, and every week in September. Customer attendance on July 2nd was much higher than we anticipated for the holiday weekend. I'm not sure if that was indicative of more people celebrating with family and friends close to home versus traveling, but in any event, our vendors were very happy with their sales and the community support for the holiday weekend. Thank you to everyone who came out to buy their Independence Day menu items and festivity products from our local farmers and vendors.
It's going very well. Thank you. Wayne?
The Hampstead Train Station Committee has its next Music in the Park this Saturday, the 23rd from 6 to 8. This Saturday it's going to be $20 profit. And then on the 13th of August we have Middle Sister. August 27th, Bootleg. September 10th we have Blue Moon Big Band. And then on September 24th we're going to finish out with Hickory Wind.
What's this new band? What's the band this week play, you know?
80s and 90s, I think. Yeah. They've got a pretty good reputation. So, okay. The train station remains open 9 to 3 on Saturdays. And we've been getting pretty good visitation over the last month, so it's been very, very welcome.
A lot of history.
Yes. Tree Commission. Last Tuesday was a bad day for trees. Electric lines and just about everybody else. I've surveyed most of the trees that we've put up. Oddly enough, the ones that I thought would be damaged weren't, and the ones that I hoped wouldn't are. But the Tree Commission hasn't gotten up to the Panther Park to view the trees up there, but I hope to get that done in the next couple of days. But so far, I'm not hearing any reports of any of the trees that we've actually planted, coming down. So that's a good thing. And the commission will be meeting to discuss if anybody has any trees that they want replaced. Just get in touch with Town Hall and let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
Good.
Okay, that's it for me.
All right. Deb?
Okay, Planning and Zoning Commission met on Wednesday, June 22nd, and approved a new sign at 1206 North Main Street for Ultimate Image. Another new sign was approved at Duncan at 822 South Main. It will be refurbished along with repainting the building and adding a second lane so that there's no spillage onto Route 30. An introduction of the concept plan for Hans was presented, as Jim had mentioned. There was a request for an extension of the FRP Hampstead Overlook, which was approved. Chapter 9 of the 2022 Hampstead Comprehensive Plan was introduced, which is the economic development and activity portion. And the Hampstead portion of the certification of the 2021 Carroll County Planning Annual Report was approved.
Very good. How many more chapters to go?
You ask that every week, and we're going down. I think we have 2.
Now we have 4 left.
Oh,
And
No pressure.
no pressure. We saved the best for the last, though, the largest and the most involved. One thing that is holding us up still is the numbers from the census, because there is a section in there on demographics. And when it was done 10 years ago, it was all based on the 2010 census. Well, now they're saying that all the numbers from the 2020 census will not be released until May 2023 at the earliest.
wow.
So somehow we're gonna have to work around that and maybe get some yearly statistics and put in there. But we're grinding away on the comp plan.
I don't believe one number in it. Okay. Dave.
Now, some of this was written prior to Tuesday, so bear with me on that. War Memorial Park update. The town of Hampstead had a ribbon cutting ceremony on Saturday, June 30th for our new amphitheater and park bench area. Following the ceremony, our summer series of Music in the Park kicked off with music by Just Us. It ran from 6 to 8. The town has also reached out to several local contractors requesting quotes for a stone sitting wall to be placed at the rear of the new park bench area. The town has also contacted Strickler Signs to provide quotes for town signage at the War Memorial Park. Chief Sites Park, the walking trails at the Chief Sites Park have been replaced. The town has received positive feedback from several town residents enjoying the new walking trails. We thank you for your positive comments and hope others enjoying the new walking path while spending time at Chief Sites Park. A little bit on the gardens at Richard's Family Cemetery. Due to the storm, it was severely damaged, but we're, thanks to Public Works, getting it back open for everyone. But I'll just go over what I had originally written about it. The main native beds where we have native flowers, wildflowers, are in full bloom this year. This is probably, excuse me, one of the best areas of the garden at this time. The wildflower garden, like I said, is in full bloom. The rose garden is looking great this season as well. We have also added a new garden called the Fern Garden, and that's under a sassafras tree in the beginning of the cemetery area. And we received quite a bit of hosta plants, lady ferns, cinnamon ferns, and Christmas ferns, which are all native to this area. They're also evergreens. We also found out the 2 trees that were damaged, but they're being cleaned up. But we have 2 really old trees that are in the cemetery. There's a mulberry tree, which is about 250 years old. And there's also a black walnut tree. It's about 200 years old. So I encourage everybody to stop by once the park's back open, hopefully within the next few days. It is at the corner of Terrace Drive and Willow Street. And stop by and check it out. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Last but not least, Ben.
Okay, for water usage in June, it was 355,000 gallons per day. Average usage was. In July, the average water usage so far is 330,000 gallons per day. Rainfall for total of June was 2.23 inches, and so far for July, especially with the storms we've had, is 5.42 inches. So
Jesus.
more than double last month.
It's wet out there. All right. Well, hopefully, we're back to hazy, hot, and humid. Hopefully that lasts for a week. My comments, June and July, it's amazing. They used to be quiet months, not so much anymore. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Dave. I apologize.
Yeah.
Just ready to roll.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. During the month of June, we investigated in the Traffic Safety Department. We investigated 11 traffic accidents. 2 were reportable. 9 were property damage only. 3 took place in the 42 Circle, and 3 took place on Main Street. We had our speed signs out at 6 locations for a total of 65 days of display. Traffic enforcement included 56 selective enforcements over a 29-hour period. 35 citations and 40 warnings were issued during those activities. Overall, traffic enforcement included 74 citations and 91 warnings. We conducted 512 property checks, businesses and schools. With reference to serious crime, 2 thefts were investigated, 1 assault of the 2nd degree, 2 DUIs, 1 violation of a protective order, and collectively we have it listed there as 1 arson. There was actually 4 separate incidents that took place. They were all independent arsons, all on the same day. Arrest included 1 adult for an assault of the 2nd degree, which was not domestic related. 3 adults were taken into custody for violation of various protective orders. 6 adults for traffic offenses. 1 individual was arrested for the 4 arsons that I mentioned earlier. 2 adults were taken into custody for DUI as well. Training included 47 hours of topics, which also included our annual use of force review, the Glock Armors course, NCIC TAC training there. That's the National Crime Information Center. Essentially, we have to go through annual training to make sure we're entering and using it correctly. That was conducted as well. We sent our FTOs to an FTO refresher course. They're required to do that every 3 years. We also conducted police management training as well as first line supervisory training. Our 2 corporals attended that. Community events included the Spring Garden Cub Scout Bike Night. We attended the Robertsfield HOA meeting. We also installed car seats, and Lieutenant Gagler attended the Carroll Hospital Center Founders Circle Dinner over in Westminster. And the last thing, it's not on our list here, but I'll just throw it out there and remind everybody. We're going to actually try to have a National Night Out again this year. Our plan is to have it over at the Memorial Park. It's scheduled for the 2nd. There'll be some music, face painting, moon bounces, hot dogs. It's a little different location. Obviously, we can't use the fire department. But one of the things we're hoping to do is to kind of like make it a little bit more intimate. One of the criticisms I have is we had grown a little bit too big, and I was a little frustrated where I would see our police officers out there sort of attending to the event, everything from running the various things and parking cars and never having an opportunity to talk to people. And I think we're kind of missing the point. So I think it's a great location. We're going to take advantage of the fact that everything has been redone. And we're looking forward to having a good night out. All we need is good weather. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Dave. Any questions? Thank you. All right, now my report. Sorry. So a lot continues to go on. Dave mentioned the War Memorial and the ribbon cutting. It was a really nice night. We recognized Lou Kaiser, who's a former mayor dating back to the 80s, maybe 70s. But he's also the leader of Just Us Band, and we recognized him for all his service to the town through the years and lending us his sound system for Hampstead Day and for the Memorial Day service and for the Christmas when Santa comes down the street on the fire truck. So always a big help to us. And we surprised them, which was another good thing. And it was a really well attended event. I mean, I thought I counted over 200 people there. Very well. So. The Matthews Car Show went off in June as well, so I showed up for that to give out an award for the mayor's car, which this year was an older vehicle, like a 1930s. I'm not a car guy, so I couldn't get into all the details for you. Sorry. We also attended the Maryland Municipal League Conference, which was the reason we had our meeting a week early in June. Dave got himself elected to the board again for another year, third. Second year, okay. And then I got elected because I'm a district vice president for Carroll County, so that's pretty good to have 2 people from the same county on the board. Lots of meetings, approval of a budget and economic updates. There were, you name it. They have different education classes for that conference, which were all very well attended, and everybody up here attended, so it was good. I've attended a lot of the farmers markets and seeing what Diane's seeing, very well attended, lots of new vendors, people happy to be back out and about. Something new this year that we did was they had a golf tournament for Ed Powson, who's the, everybody knows Ed's name, but the former athletic director and gym teacher at North Carroll High School for all those years. And so there was a fundraiser. There's a scholarship fund at Manchester Valley in his name, and that was very well attended, and it was good time was had by all. We mentioned, I think Jim mentioned that we met with the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Company and their lawyer and the neighbors about access to the alley that runs along behind the property. That went off without a hitch, thankfully, and that project continues to move smoothly. I've continued to have some meetings on the Maryland Municipal League Executive Committee related to the executive director search. Scott Hancock, after 27 years, is retiring, and we interviewed 6 different folks. We've narrowed it down to 3. I have my pick. We'll see how the second interviews go, and maybe an appointment very early in August for the new executive director. So that'll, after 27 years with one person, that'll be a big change for the league in general. And the league is always a big help to the 157 towns and cities in the state of Maryland, with all the education they provide, all the research they provide, and the legislative input that they provide. So it's a big job. So on to new business, because I don't think we have any unfinished business. First one is the approval of fiscal year 2022 budget revision related to the water fund, where we're going to transfer $30,000 from the capital reserve to pump houses electric, because there were some, basically the solar panels didn't work as advertised for the last year. There were some maintenance issues there, so we had higher than anticipated electric cost. Plus, the cost of electric, everybody's noticing, has gone up a little bit, and ours has too. So that's the reason for that change.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We do roll call this, or do we?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Painter,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Unglesbee,
Yes.
Councilman Zolman.
Yes.
Thank you. So budget and financial bookkeeping, housekeeping is in order. Then secondly, we have a petition for the approval of water service outside town limits per Chapter 132-7C of the Hampstead Town Code, which is Hill Reedy Inc. at 1734 Hanover Pike, which is better known as Lizzie Lockers. And I was stunned to find out that they didn't have water service. They use a spotter pot. Do they have running? Is there a well? Okay. So, because there's only a little office there. Thankfully, they're getting water service. So the cost on that obviously will fall to Hill Reedy Inc. Do we have any questions related to that? Jim Pyatt's here from Hill Reedy, and Clark Schaefer's here representing.
Well, seeing how they came out, I'll have to ask a question. Other than the Lizzie Lockers, is there additional property there for later development, or is it all done in Lizzie Lockers?
No, it's just the Lizzie's office.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah. Is there room to expand in the back if somebody were to buy that property in the back? No, that pretty much,
It narrows
Yeah.
down.
Narrows down, goes all the way back to the bypass.
The IDA. Wow.
yeah.
Are there no other properties up to Lizzie Lockers? It says it's just
It's
providing service to that.
There's one other one, which is like an old white clapboard house that is currently in foreclosure. Good luck trying to. We've tried to find somebody at Fannie Mae / whatever bank
it's on
to return the call, but no luck. So they're going to run it over.
That took annexation out of the picture, because if we tried to annex these lockers, then it would create an enclave of that one house, which the state is not going to allow you to do.
No, right.
So there you go. A motion?
So I have the road repair. Is that included in the fee to extend it? Is there any road repair?
They pay all utility work, and they will not be tearing up the road. They will be boring underneath. Toby, you have.
We just plan is to have a meter pit put in the grass strip on the eastbound side of the road. The main runs right through the bean field right now.
Okay.
Tap into the main, have a meter pit, bore under the road with some conduit. If there was ever a leak under, in the pipe on the road, that way they could,
So those costs don't need to be in the petition?
They are not.
Do they need to be?
No.
Okay.
Now, any other questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? There you go. You're welcome. Public comments. You're the only two public comments here. Thanks for coming out in July. Take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you for those listening on CMC. We appreciate the partnership, and if you're actually out there and you've seen this on video, please let us know, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you all.